Watch out, it's the warning track.
Welcome back to another episode of The Warning Track. I'm your host, Clayton McMahon. Thank you for joining us. Another episode here, episode 19. We're rolling. Yesterday was great. Had Mike on the show. It's been absolutely wonderful to see him back in the newsroom and getting better. And so we're rocking solo here again. Kind of going over. Now, I'm surprised I haven't pulled all my hair out yet by some of these closer situations. I feel like this is maybe the most I've honed in on it before, because typically I usually do like to I won't draft like the high-end guys. In one of the leagues I did with Kate Smith this year, but typically I like the mid-range guys. Like there was one league where I got Pete Fairbanks and Ryan Helsley. Usually if I can pair two mid-level closers like that, I'm very happy. In some leagues I wasn't able to do that, so I've been focusing on the lower end, or guys who get the job early. In Hundo, the ESPN League, the slow draft one we did here on the show earlier this year, I did luck out with Riley O'Brien. I feel really good with Riley O'Brien at this point, pairing him with Cade Smith. I do technically have Victor Vodnik on that team. I mean, he'll maybe give me some saves here or there, but at least have a second closer. But there are three teams that we're going to talk about today in some of their closer situations where I have no idea what's going on. If you're in maybe a super deep league, like a deep 12-teamer, 15-teamer where saves matter, you'll probably want to roster some guys on this team, but otherwise it's good luck. It's whatever you think's going to happen. So, we can kind of just get into that right away. Two of the guys here. So Cole Winn with the Rangers got the save on Wednesday. One of the things I thought was really notable is that Chris Martin was used in the sixth inning in Wednesday's game. Now, this was just frustrating because going into the season, you thought it was probably going to be a pretty 50-50 split between Robert Garcia and Chris Martin. And so far, I don't believe either of them. And maybe Garcia has one, but I don't think so. Yeah, no. Robert Garcia doesn't have a save, and Chris Martin definitely does not have a save. I picked him up in one league. He's been pretty rough. Robert Garcia hasn't been terrible. He has 2.25 ERA across 4 innings of work, 4 walks, so the control hasn't been there. But we have seen Tyler Alexander get a couple saves for the Rangers. We talked about Jacob Junis on yesterday's episode, who's picked up 2 saves. He had picked up saves in back-to-back days, so, I mean, maybe that's kind of one of the only reasons Cole Winn got the save opportunity, just because Jacob Junis has pitched each of the last couple days. I think of the 3 teams we're going to talk about today, I think I feel the most confident in narrowing it down to a couple people. So I dropped Chris Martin. I had him in the ESPN League. I can't remember if I drafted him or I picked him up super early, but I dropped him this morning. And if you want to hold on to Robert Garcia, I think that's fine, I guess. Like I said, Chris Martin, I don't think there's any reason to roster him unless you're in a league with holds, and even then, I mean, he really hasn't looked too good this year. So at this point, I think it's between Cole Winn and Jacob Junis. Now, Cole Winn, I can't remember if it was him or am I thinking Junis had the really good year last year. Yeah, I mean, it was only across 41 innings, but Cole Winn last year for the Rangers put up a 1.51 ERA. Not a big K guy, only had 35 strikeouts in 41 2/3 innings, but was really, really good last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see some more work from him. Like I said, Jacob Junis has obviously already gotten 2 saves just this week alone. Last year with the Cleveland, put up a 2.97 ERA across 66 2/3 innings, 57 appearances. So he had a solid year last year with them. Nothing too crazy. High whip. It was 1.23 whip. But neither of them really inspire confidence. I mean, in your league, if you've got If Riley O'Brien's still out there, definitely want him. If Lucas Urseg is for some reason still available in your league, definitely get him. We've talked about Gregory Soto a couple times in the last week. I think I'd probably rather have him over Junis and Wynn. I don't feel super confident saying that. I mean, they're both kind of just whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing to. And I'll say this over the names I'm about to say. I would rather have Cole Wynn and Jacob Junis because the other one. Well, I guess quickly we'll talk about Michael Peterson, who got a save on Wednesday for the Marlins. Pete Fairbanks is on paternity leave, so that's just a whatever. It's obviously once Pete Fairbanks is back, he's going to be the guy. So not worried about that in the slightest. But the other two guys I wanted to talk about were Cody Funderburk, Cody Funderburk with the Twins, who got the save Wednesday against the Tigers. Tigers are scuffling right now. Not only is this frustrating from the sense that this is now the fourth Twins reliever to not just save, but in Wednesday's game, Justin Topa, who got the save Tuesday, pitched in the 6th inning, and then Cole Sands pitched in the 7th. And so it just seems like, and Taylor Rogers still has not gotten a save yet. It seems like there is just absolutely no rhyme or reason to this bullpen. And none of them have really been particularly good. Even Taylor Rogers, who doesn't have a save, 3.6 ERA across 5 innings. Nothing too crazy. 1.4 WHIP. Cole Sands has a 2.08 ERA, but a really high WHIP. Justin Topa just hasn't been good. Cody Funderburk, same thing, 3.18 ERA, but a really high WHIP. He has 6 walks and 5 2/3. Don't like that at all. Honestly, probably their best reliever so far is Cody Lawryson, I think is how you pronounce his name, who got the save. What would that be, Monday? Yes, so on April 6th, got the save. He has 8 Ks across 6 1/3, so a 4.26 ERA, but a .79 WHIP. So I really don't know if there's a single guy I want to roster on this. I mean, you may get the occasional save from them, but if they're not even giving you good ratios and you're getting a save from them once every, couple weeks, I mean, that's just not really what I'm looking for. So, like I said, I would rather have Cole Wynn. I would rather have Jacob Junis, Gregory Soto, definitely Riley O'Brien, and Lucas Urseg. I think even guys, I'm trying to think of some other names. Clayton Beeter. I'm not really a big fan of the Nationals bullpen situation right now, but I think I would rather have Clayton Beeter over everybody on the Twins and probably the 2 Rangers guys as well. So, yeah, that's just been a really frustrating start so far. And then another team, I would argue the Twins are probably the worst. I'm going to say they're tied for the worst because this other one, Joe Kunal with the Athletics, got the save on Wednesday, and kind of a very similar situation to the Twins where we saw 2 other guys who we thought or have been used somewhat in a save situation. I guess Hogan Harris really hasn't yet. But either way, people have speculated for him to have the closer role. But we saw him and Scott Barlow used earlier in this game. And so, I mean, Mark Leiter Jr., I did talk on one episode where I thought he would be a good pickup, and then I think his next appearance was when he gave up 4 runs. Yeah, I mean, his last 2 appearances have been blown saves, and so now his ERA is over 10. Not really inspiring confidence there. Hogan Harris, I actually dropped him too in a league. He has just been dealing with walks big time. In 8 innings, he has 10 walks. Has also given up 7 hits. The ERA is okay. It's a 3.38 ERA, but a 2.13 WHIP. I mean, that's just basically begging to get lit up here pretty soon. So I'm trying to remember, just looking at past games from the A's, I mean, his usage has never been super late game yet. And then Sterner, I really don't think has done a whole lot. There was some buzz around him during draft season. I guess his numbers have been good. He doesn't have a save, but a 1.5 ERA, 1.5 WHIP, but he's not walking a ton of guys, so that's fine. But yeah, between Hogan Harris, if you want to bundle him in with this group, Mark Leiter Jr., Justin Sterner, I guess maybe throw Joel Kuhnel in there. Can't say I'm really super excited about any of those guys. Pretty rough all around. So, kind of getting into some other notes, just guys that maybe just some deeper league, especially if you're like in a 5 outfield rosters. I think this would be somebody to pick up, and I've mentioned him before, both during draft season and I think early on here in the regular season, is Ramon Laureano, who Wednesday went 2 for 5, 2 stolen bases, and 1 run. So, like I said, I mentioned him has dealt with a lot of injuries, but when he's been healthy, kind of puts up 2020 numbers, is in a good Padres lineup. He is only rostered, ESPN, I think, only rostered in like 13% of leagues. Or just under 14. My guess in Yahoo is probably not. It'll be higher, but my guess this one won't be much higher. Oh, no, never mind. 56% rostered. Man. Yeah, ESPN, Mike and I were talking about this on yesterday's episode. ESPN must just be the most casual format in the world. That is just such a huge discrepancy. Basically 14 to 56%. And I know CBS, because I listen to the CBS Fantasy Show a lot. I don't know if I could look it up here, but I know it seems like their roster rates are really high. So, yeah, ESPN must just be the league of casuals. But I guess if you're in ESPN, he should be rostered, and he most likely is available. So pick him up there. But even in Yahoo, he's still still available in almost half of leagues. So I think he's somebody to look for. I mean, he's been batting. I think this has been the one thing that's encouraging. He started off the season batting either like 6th or 7th. And then at the start of the month, he was batting 5th. And the last few games, he's been batting either 2nd or leadoff. So that's been really encouraging. Obviously, if guys like Tatis and Machado, Jackson Merrill are knocking him in, I think there's a bunch of run opportunities, and I think they're going to let him steal more. So really like the Ramon Laureano situation. I think if you have a spot for him, especially if you're still waiting for Kyle Stowers to get back, or you just lost Juan Soto. There have been some outfield injuries, so I think he's somebody to look at. And then somebody who, he was still going in like the 11th or 12th round, so it wasn't like he was a super deep sleeper. But Sonny Gray, kind of coming off a little bit of a down season, has looked really good so far. The strikeout numbers aren't quite there yet, but last night he pitched 6 1/3, got the win, the quality start. Only 2 Ks though, and he only has 10 Ks across 16 1/3 so far this season, 3 starts. But he's looked really good. A 2.76 ERA, WHIP on just under 1. When you look at his numbers from last year, he had an ERA over 4, but the FIP showed more promising numbers. He had a 3.39 FIP last year compared to a 4.28 ERA. Still put up good K numbers. Had 201 strikeouts across 180 innings. He is 36 now, but like I said, he's looked good so far. Even if the K numbers regress a little bit, I think he's somebody who's going to put up better ratios than he did last year. Just seems like maybe it was just a little bit of bad luck. And so I don't really know if you can trade for him. Like I said, he's been really good to start the year. So it's probably a little too late to do that. But if you drafted him and got him, like I said, in your mid rounds, I got him in one of my leagues. When did I draft him? I drafted him in the 10th round. So, that's a decent investment. But I don't think you have to worry about that, even coming off, like I said, the down year. Looked good. Now, a couple guys I wanted to talk about, maybe just some buy low guys. Granted, we're only 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks into the season, however you want to slice it. I know it's easy to overreact. Especially when you look at your lineup and there are guys batting $150 and, don't have any homers or only have a couple ribbies or, drafted them to get stolen bases. They have like 1 stolen bag so far. But if there's anybody that you can take advantage of, because, there's some leagues you'll see guys get dropped. I mean, like I said, people will overreact like crazy. And so there's a couple guys I want to name. One of them is Ivan Herrera, um, who so far is only batting a $195, has 6 RBIs, 3 runs, but no homers. The one thing I'm encouraged by, though, is he has an on-base percentage of .393. He has 41 at-bats, so he's pretty much starting full-time. He hasn't even he is just starting full-time. He hasn't sat a game yet. Still is in a really good spot in the lineup. He's been batting second overall, or second in the lineup every game. And then the one thing that's encouraging, especially if you're in non-Yahoo formats, in Yahoo he already had catcher eligibility from the beginning. But he keeps on catching, and there was a report yesterday, or maybe it was Tuesday, where Derek Gold of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch reported that Ivan Herrera has served the personal catcher for Michael McGreevy and Andre Palante, and is expected to continue doing so at least through the end of April. Now, I have no idea why this is clarifying it would only be until the end of the month. Regardless, that should give him enough starts at catcher to receive catcher eligibility elsewhere. I don't play in CBS leagues, but listening to the fantasy podcast they do this morning, they said he gained catcher eligibility in CBS. He does not have it yet in ESPN, or at least the league I do. I guess it might be a little hard to find it right now, but maybe I could see how long it would take to get roster or position eligibility in ESPN. But essentially, it's a matter of when, not if at this point. And so if you drafted him, obviously you've been having to play him at the util spot for a while. But I think he's definitely somebody to consider if you can maybe trade for him. Granted, catcher is pretty deep this year, but I don't know. Maybe you had Alejandro Kirk on your roster, and now he's out 6 weeks. Maybe somebody you can trade for. If I pull up his baseball savant, his numbers look really, really good so far. Baseball savant. Yeah, here we go. You always love to see a ton of red on the baseball savant page, and it's here. His average exit velocity is not super high, but bat speed's good. I mean, K rates, walk rates, or K percentages, chase rate's good. xWOBA, everybody's favorite stat, is really good. And so, yeah, I think he's somebody to have your eye on. I mean, last year, batted .284, had an .837 OPS, looked really good across 388 at-bats. So he's one guy. Another guy who's kind of been heating up, so you might be starting to run out of time to do so, but is Luke Keeschel, who last night or Wednesday night stole his second bag of the year, has hits in each of the last 3 games, 4 runs, also had a homer his first home run a couple days ago. Has been in a really good spot in the lineup, has been batting third all year, hasn't sat at all. So Twins lineup's obviously not the best in the world, but around Byron Buxton, Royce Lewis has had an okay start so far. So he was somebody I was really, really high on. I mean, he had a fantastic 2025 in the time he did play. Batted .302, 14 stolen bases, 4 homers, and less than 200 at-bats. So, and he was drafted probably around the same, I think I had him 12th round. Okay, so kind of a similar investment. I probably got Herrera later, 17th round. Wow. So, yeah, I think he's somebody to also keep an eye on. When did Herrera go in ESPN? Because he was a utility player. 13th round. Wow, okay. So, not much of a discount at all, at least in this particular league. But, like I said, once he gets that catcher eligibility, I think that'll be really nice for fantasy managers. A couple other guys, to me, these are kind of obvious ones that I almost don't even like talking about because it's like, yeah, I mean, no kidding. If you can get a second-round pick who was, is off to a slow start. So guys like Nick Kurtz, who's still batting out of the Mendoza line, has 2 stolen bases, which is, I guess, not exactly what I was expecting. I don't think he got too many last year, if any. Yeah, I mean, he already is tied a stolen base total from last year across 117 games. So, but hey, if you're in season-long roto and he chips in 10 steals this year, I mean, you're not going to complain about that. So, him obviously still has not hit a home run yet. Ketel Marte has a home run, but is batting just 208. He's somebody too where it's like, yeah, if you can get him, obviously you should do it. I just don't think you're going to get much of a discount, really. So I guess that's just why I think it's pointless to try to reach out. I mean, unless you just wanted to obviously get him, maybe got sniped early on and, go about it that way. But those are just a couple names. Guys to sell high on. The Jordan Walker situation is really interesting to me. I mean, just a few years ago, I thought I had it pulled up. Oh, maybe I took down that tab. But, I mean, in 2023, we're looking at a top 5 prospect in all of baseball. And so far has looked the part, is batting .295, 5 home runs, 12 ribbies, 10 runs. It's just been dominant. Home runs in 4 of the last 5 games. It's just annihilated the Nationals in that series. Obviously, I think if you can sell on him, you probably should. I'll be interested to see where they have him in outfield rankings on CBS. Okay, he's still pretty far down. Outfielder 52. Which I guess is interesting because I think I would rather have him over. I'm surprised they have Cam Smith ranked at him. I guess Cam Smith steals bases, but I think I would rather have him over all these guys. Ron Laureano, 42. Yeah, I don't know. I think obviously if you can take advantage, I mean, he is just white hot right now, and so yeah. I think another guy too. I guess looking at Cam Smith, funny enough, we were just talking about him. Like I said, he's been solid as well, but I don't know. I wish he still had third base eligibility. But the steals are nice. Grant, he hasn't had a few in a couple games. He's starting at least 2, which I know it seems like between the whole Isaac Paredes thing, who knows what the Astros are doing, just mixing and matching every single game. But I think I'd probably rather have Jordan Walker than I would Cam Smith. So I think if you're able to get rid of Cam Smith, who is 35% rostered in ESPN, so he might be almost universally rostered in Yahoo, or probably like in the 70s if I had to guess. It's fine. Oh, wrong Smith. Cam Smith is, only 60%. So, yeah, I think between those two, I'd rather have Walker than Smith, but I think if you can sell high on both, that's something I'd probably try to go for. And that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining another episode of The Warning Track. It's been fun early on. Even if it's a little frustrating trying to nail down these closed situations, we're all in it together. So we'll keep on updating the closing carousel. It ain't going to stop anytime soon. And so until next time, I'm your host, Clayton McMahon, and we will see you on another episode.
Watch out, it's the Warning Track.